Hey, what's up, guys? This is Z.A.K here, and today I'm going to be doing a new overview video of my 22 2.0. And as you guys know, the B6Ds are out, and the 22 3.0 laydown stuff's out. All the really good new cars are out. But I just decided not to get one of those because this car ran just fine. And as my cousin said, that the 3.0s aren't as good at our track, so I was just like, okay, let's just stick with the 2.0, which was a good idea. Because this thing is just a nice car, brought out to practice, and it runs real nice. So there's this one guy that was down there with the B6D. He was running it pretty well, but I was just running laps around him with this car. And this car just has slicks on it. I was using some liquid wrench in the back. The fronts, I'm just using some really nice J-Concept spar codes for clay, all clay tires. These are slick BK bars, so yeah, and they're on Avid wheels. So yeah, and the other guy's running the latest and greatest Pro Line stuff on his car. And I was just running laps around him. And yeah, whenever we were the only people on the track, we were just having fun, just racing around with all the buggies. My friend ZJRC was there with his 22. We were both just running laps around him. He wasn't a bad driver or nothing. We were either just better than him or otherwise. I don't know what else, but I think my car's just dialed. I was just going. All the corner speed was good. I'm gonna have a running video coming up, and in some spots in that running video, the car just spun out a lot. And the reason why is the rear bell stud mount in the inner part was broken, so I had to unscrew my bell stud and mount it on the outermost part and then shorten the link, which is not the setup I'm trying to go for. So I kind of just didn't get used to it very well, but yeah, I didn't notice it was broken until after the first clip was shot. So I'll still have that first clip in the video, but just in case you guys are gonna watch that video, that's why I've been spinning out, because my wheels are just going all over the place. I just didn't notice it until then. So anyway, yeah, I didn't buy the aluminum one because that thing was like $40, and stuff's been happening lately. My 8 scale motors blew out, and then my freaking 17.5 for my SC10 just went out. So I didn't get that yet, but I'm planning on getting maybe something 3D printed in the future for the rear, because I am taking a class on it at school. Then the front, I have the aluminum ball stud mount, so I don't have to worry about this anymore. I broke the plastic one and I just went right to the aluminum, which is a good idea so that it doesn't break again. I just told you I'm running BK bars in clay and barcodes in clay. And the shocks I'm running on the inside on the top and on the outside on the bottom, typical clay fashion. I'm still running the slider system. To be honest, it's not really, like, before running it on clay with this setup, I thought that it would kind of suck and it might needed more precise steering. But actually, it runs fine with the slider. I don't really think I need the bell cranks. Everyone's like yakking at me at the 22 Empire. To get the bell cranks, you must get them because it'll make it handle better. Honestly, I don't see a huge difference. My friend Z.A.K had bell cranks on his 22 when he was running, and they were both handling about the same, so I don't really see what the difference is besides the wearing out of this little shaft in there. Also, I have 22 3.0 front hex hubs, so then I can use wheels that aren't 10mm hex, which is BS because I don't think they should have included 10mm hex for the front. In the rear, I'm running this weight, which is running 28 grams because I broke the other two lead weights off. But yeah, I'm running 28 grams in the rear. The screws coming out. Running all the stock hinge pins and like the anti-squat, and running all the stock stuff. The kick-up stock. Everything's stock except for my shocks. The oil, it's still stock oil. I should probably rebuild them, but it's running good. Yeah, the body I have on here is a J-Concept silencer for the RB6. It looks really sick. Works great. And yeah, the wing I'm running the third one from the bottom up, and I kind of curved the edges just in case if you're wondering if how much drag I have. Taking the body off. Some of my Velcro came off, so I had to replace that. So now here's the meat of the car. You can really see the new upgrades I did. This is like why I didn't buy a new RC like for the buggy class. I didn't want to to buy a B6 because I just didn't have the money, and this car ran just fine. And my cousin said that he doesn't really need a B6, so he's sticking with the B5. I'm just gonna stick with this, and I know I did a good job because I was just running laps around everyone else at the track during practice. Everyone was watching it. It was a blast. My friend even said his was running good. So clearly the 22 2.0s are still very decent cars, and he was running a 4-gear in his, and I'm running a 3-gear in mine. So what I'm running for the chassis is an Exotek XO22 carbon fiber chassis. I always see people saying you should run the aluminum one because that it's heavier and you'll have more weight on the bottom of the car, which is true. You'll get a lower center of gravity, but this thing is light. It's 50 grams over minimum weight, so this thing's one of the lightest cars they'll probably race there. So it gets around. I mean, this thing just goes. I was thinking I was running mod when I was running it around the track, but I'm just running stock. Just going over the doubles that some of the other stock cars couldn't really clear without having to pin it. Yeah, make sure you Loctite all the screws that hold on the chassis components, otherwise they'll unscrew. And yeah, and then some people, what they do is they put CA glue on the edge of their carbon fiber so it doesn't splinter or crack. I've not done that yet. I don't see why, but I never did. I mean, this is all got the resin on it, so I don't see the need to. It's also got the carbon battery strap, which I don't really like how they designed it, where you have to use screws. I think they should have made it a lot like the B4.1, where you have the thumb screws to unscrew. Might upgrade to those. Might throw my B4's thumb screws on here just so it's easier. It's got an aluminum waterfall, which is really nice. Just in case you're wondering, this chassis will work with the brand new 3-gear transmissions they came out with. So just in case you're wondering, because I was definitely wondering. Yeah, the 3-gear transmission, I'm running the 3-gear, and it runs really nice. If you're wondering if you really need the 3-gear for the extra 20 bucks, yes, you need the 3-gear. Whenever I ran the 4-gear on my 22 when it was stock, I mean the 4-gear on the 22 when it was stock, it just sucked. It would not get up and go. It was just kind of terrible on the low end, and on the high end it was pretty well controlled. But I like this one. It has plenty of control, and it has plenty of low end speed. It could get over anything. I mean, the 3-gear transmission is a must-have for, I don't care what surface it's for. There's a chart on the 22 Empire that someone posted about what transmission you need for where. Doesn't matter where. Just get the 3-gear. Good transmission. I run the 3-gear on all my other cars because all my other 2-wheel drive cars have 3-gear transmissions, and I'm totally used to those. And then when this thing had the 4-gear in it, I just didn't like it. 3-gear, totally, it's just, you need that. Especially if you're running stock. It's got 3 gears in there, less rotating mass, definitely better. So I'm going to turn the car over here. I have a J Concepts chassis protector, the clear one. I ran it outside for a test drive and I ripped a hole in it. Thank God it didn't really mess up the carbon fiber, so I took a strip of extra chassis protector, put it across, and that seems to work fine. Then I put an extra little bit here on the rear so that it doesn't like scratch it off like it used to on my other 22 chassis. And yeah, I put some J Concept stickers across here because there actually are 2 screw holes that are just exposed, so I just put them over those. So yeah, that's why they're there. So now I'm going to turn the car around, and as you can tell, possibly, I am running some foam in the back here so that the battery's more forward. You want to run the battery forward and lateral with this chassis. It just gives it more of an aggressive feel for clay and carpet. I mean, if the reason why anyone would buy this chassis is to run on either clay or carpet. I wouldn't see anybody running this carbon chassis outdoors. If I was going to run outdoors, I'd run rear motor, and this chassis is for mid motor. So I'd stick with the stock one. It's also heavier. What I'm trying to say is, you want a heavier car and a rear motor car for outdoors. See all these people running mid motor outdoors, it ain't working good for them. It's going to be a little bit too squirrely. You just want something with plenty of weight on the rear wheels. So Yeah, that's why I got the chassis. And you want to mount the battery as far forward as you can if you're running on a clay or carpet. And I never tried it all the way back, and I never really needed to. So, and they also have screw holes on the front side here for you to mount screws up, just in case if you want to run it far back. But I just put the foam back here so it's all the way forward. And yeah, so the motor I'm running in here is the Power Slingshot, which is this motor right here. 17.5 censored brushless motor. And this thing gets this car around. It's probably the best 17.5 motor that the track's ever seen in a bit. Like in practice, everyone was like, "Hey, what kind of motor you run? What motor you running?" And I was like, "The Slingshots from A-Main." Like, ooh, really? Yeah, everyone thought this thing was running some sort of mod or some sort of open timing stock motor. But this thing's actually on stock timing at 30 degrees. I actually had it at 40 just because I thought it would have been slower. But 30 degrees is plenty. I mean, this thing, it was very fast. And the track I ran at was a little small indoors. So 30 is probably all you'd need on a small track. It just gets up and goes. It could probably compete in mod, to be honest, if you turned it up. Because this thing is just really fast. It gets over all the jumps on my track because their new layout, they don't have any triples or giant ramps, so it can get around. I mean, yeah, this motor is really great. I love it. The ESC I'm running is a Trackstar 60 amp Sportsman ESC from Hobbyking. It runs really good. Didn't get the program card because I thought I didn't need it, and I was right. I didn't really need it. The car's brake doesn't have any drag brake, which is perfect for racing because I don't like drag brake at all. The brakes are set alright. I mean, it could be a little stronger, but I can live with it. And yeah, it runs really nice. It runs cool. Surprisingly, though, like I was talking about the motor before, how it was fast. It does get hot earlier. And I have had other 75 motors like the Z.A.K ballistic ones, and that thing like stayed ice cold for 2 battery packs straight. Like 75% of the way through this battery pack, that one gets warm. Not a big deal, but if I was practicing all day at the car, I would kind of not like that. But during a race, that doesn't matter. Might stick a fan, maybe not. And yeah, the battery I'm running is a Turnigy Nanotech 4.2 100C battery. Really good battery, gives you plenty of power around everywhere. Lasts you the whole day for practice, and it runs really good. Lastly, I have a Solar D770 short servo. Really good servos for the price, 18 bucks. This thing's really quick. My friend Zach in his 22 was running a Hobbystar servo, and that thing was way quicker, but it was a standard size servo. And might pick one of those up for the slash 4x4 because that solar servo burned out. Then I am running my Flash Sky receiver for my GT3C remote. And yeah, that's pretty much the car right there. Like I said before, that the inner not hinge pin, but the inner ball stud mount broke on the shock tower. I'll just pull the camera closer. You can see that crack there. Like I said, I might 3D print a new one because I just don't want to buy like all those other parts that I don't need, and I want it to be stronger. So yeah, just use it on the outer hole. What I'm gonna do is probably stand that flat and just drill 2 holes and just mount them this way into the shock tower. So that might work out. Sorry for all the coughing, but yeah, that's my plans and what I'm running on my 22 2.0. I highly recommend doing everything I did, then some, because this thing runs laps around the B6 cars and the 22s at my track. It's very good. My friend, if he had to do this to his car, I'd recommend it because it's just going to be a lot faster than how his is now. He's got the short track. He's got like the factory team set up. This thing just runs laps around all the team associated cars.